I'm Micaela Taylor, and I am an LA-based choreographer. I think rhythm comes somewhat organically to me. I remember my mom telling me at 3 years old there was this popular song that came on, and I just started moving to the beat of the song, and my mom was like, wow, this girl really loves to dance. There is something in me, no matter what genre of music. I love moving in sync to the rhythm of a song. But I also think it speaks to where I'm from. Being born and raised in Los Angeles, I was training to be a commercial dancer, so I started off in hip hop and jazz, and then I transitioned into more classical forms of dance. And so in my work, you see a blurring of those lines. You see groove and articulation, freedom of expression, but you also see shape and line. And so I think my dance history speaks to my enjoyment of rhythm in my work. I really love to see rigor, risk-taking, vulnerability, and complete presence. Like you're just completely in the room. But I think sometimes that can be challenging in the beginning because it's a new environment for everyone, for the dancers, for myself. And so I like to lead with that immediately. I am being very vulnerable, either with what I'm saying or physically. I dive deep and I try to be as clear as possible with my body. So we're sore together, we're sweating together, we're laughing together. I like for it to feel like we're just all one body, and that creates liberation in the space. So there's this sense of freedom, and then they feel more confident to express. With Bow Out, I wanted to stay authentically myself, but I also wanted to feed off of the ballet dancers and their classical training. And so I started looking at different iconic dances, and one of them happened to be Jump and Jive, which was performed by the Nicholas brothers. They were a tap duo of the late 1930s, early 1940s. And I was just mesmerized by their explosive energy. They were so captivating, they were so dynamic, but they were also sophisticated and poised. That sort of juxtaposition was really inspiring to me. They were also two young Black men that were performing in a time where racism was really prevalent in America, and they were performing in front of audiences that looked nothing like them. And so it's really inspiring to see their confidence and their boldness through their creativity. With music, I like to play with sound that may be familiar to the audience, but then also take it somewhere else that they didn't expect. And so when talking with my composer, True, who also has a similar background as me, we were thinking about all of the jazz sounds, cymbals, drums, horns, but then stepping into more classical violin as well. I really want it to flow. This is the first time that we're working with a live orchestra, so it'll be really fun to just hear the live instruments playing as the dance is performed. And I think that it would create this epic sound that just vibrates through people's seats. My time here at ENB has been so amazing because the dancers, even though the style may be new to them, they have brought so much focus and attention to detail, and they really have taken a lot of risks. It's been really amazing to see them do exactly what I'm hoping the audience feels when they're watching: step outside of their comfort zone and give their all and just be free to move in a direction that may be new, but then find also some relatability to it. I never know what the audience is going to take away from watching the performance, but I hope that they feel some sense of joy, and I hope that they escape into the world that is presented to them on stage. I also hope that they are taken on a journey that surprises them. It takes them up, it takes them down, and they see that joy can even be complex. What makes us happy can come from so many different things, especially if maybe you learned something from a difficult time. When we're looking at the Nicholas brothers, when we're looking at what I was inspired from them, it's not just that they were charismatic, it's that they were standing up for something that was pretty difficult and challenging during that time, which was artists of color being celebrated and still having to then face things that were difficult. One lesson that I've learned over the years is valuing studio time. It just is something so beautiful about creating in the space and learning all of the nuts and bolts of what makes a piece, not being in a rush, and really valuing the connection that you're making, not only with the choreographer, but with the people around you. For young creators, it's great to have a starting point. For me, the starting point was looking at choreographers that I deemed successful, Crystal Pite, Kyle Abraham, William Forsythe, and emulating them in some way. And at first it may feel like imposter syndrome, like you're copying them, but what I realized looking back at my first works is that my creative voice was coming out and it was inevitable. With time, I gained the confidence to bring what I had to the table, always kind of having someone or a vantage point in front of you that you can kind of aim for and follow in their footsteps. And then with time, you really start to see, oh wow, this is who I am, this is what I bring.